The Republican field, on the other hand, for governor, has settled down into just a few options, which, by the way, is not a bad thing because Republicans have tended to flood the zone. But in this case, former candidate Raul Garcia officially dropped out of the race just a few weeks ago. Now, this was mainly because Dave Reichert here, former 8th Congressional District Congressman and former King County Sheriff, known as the guy who helped catch the Green River murderer, now that he jumped into the race. Garcia shifting his political ambitions to the federal Senate seat was actually a wise move, but this essentially just leaves 2 Republican candidates in this race, Semi Byrd, who we've actually discussed before, and newly declared candidate Dave Reichert. Now, frankly, Reichert's entry into this race probably hurts nobody more than Democrat State Senator Mark Mullet, because most of the traditional lobbyists and political insiders who were kind of shifting towards Mullet are likely to just switch their support back to Reichert, who has been hanging kind of in the background of the handful of retired Republican politicians in the state, just kind of waiting for his crack at a statewide office. Reichert felt that the race had opened up because Pierce County Executive Bruce Danmeyer formally said he would not run, and a few other theoretical Republican prospects also dropped out for various reasons. And when Representative Jim Walsh finally indicated that he would put his hat in the ring to become the next chair of the Washington State Republican Party and not run for governor, Reichert decided this was his chance. So with Reichert in the race, I see Mullet's campaign floundering because he will run out of money. The Democrats are trying to stab Mark in the back, and any Republican supporters that Mark had in his camp are perfectly willing to vote for Reichert just as easily. Now, on the other hand, I suspect the Reichert campaign will elevate Semi Byrd's campaign at the same time. Byrd's unofficial campaign slogan, "Give Olympia the Bird," will resonate with the more conservative factions of the state. And his resume and strong efforts around the state, because he's really at most political events wherever I go now, and I travel a lot, this seems to connect to a growing grassroots coalition that's organizing behind him. So if I were to make a prediction with the information that we have right now in this race, I don't anticipate either Byrd or Reichert going very negative on each other, which probably bodes well for the Republican prospects in this race. We all know that this race is a stretch for Republicans to win right now because the Republicans are not really organized to win a statewide race, and the various factions within the Republican Party kind of think it's basically smart to spend most of their time and energy attacking each other rather than the Democrats. We see this all the time where liberal-leaning Republicans won't vote for more conservative Republicans and vice versa. Is this self-destructive? Sure it is. If it is, particularly actually when you have a cloud of darkness and evil like Ferguson looming on the horizon. But it's not easy to convince people to stop self-immolating when they're bound and determined to do so. So for anyone who wants to follow the early days of this race, which is still a year away from the primary election, this is how I believe things essentially are stacking up right now.